Om Shanti. Today is the 131st day of your godly blessing, and in today's blessing, God is talking about something very, very crucial. God Father, or Baba means father in Hindi. Baba is trying to tell us that are you somebody who's trustworthy and faithful? To be faithful to one another in a relationship is also becoming difficult in Kali Yuga in today's days. Now, God says that is what you're finding it difficult, but can you be so faithful to God? Now, what does it mean to be faithful to God? Does it mean that I need to learn all the scriptures? I need to know everything word by word? I need to know what exactly is the right time to get up or to bow down in front of a murti or an idol? What is the right time to do puja or to do any kind of devotion? When is the time to go for a pilgrimage? Is that being faithful? God says, why are you doing that? Do you know what is the reason for doing that? God says, it is very important to be faithful in the mind and not just show it on the outside. The world has become such that the bhakti or any form of worship has also become tamopradhan. Tamopradhan means completely degraded. Most of the people who are doing bhakti are either copying each other because they don't know why they are doing it. They listen to the shlokas or the different verses in Sanskrit or even try to understand that. They even mug it up. They even learn it up. But is there any difference in your karmas from the day you've started reading it? Is there any difference in your thought patterns the day you started reading those shastras or you've gone for a pilgrimage? God says being faithful is very different in this case. So let's understand, what does God want us to be and what does faithful exactly mean? Baba says, may you be totally faithful and do godly service with your every thought, every moment, word and action. So karma starts with thoughts. That's what God says. But the world thinks karma is what you show it through your hands and legs and your mouth. But God says your thoughts are the first seed of karma. So let's try to understand in details. Someone who looks after everything very carefully is said to be totally faithful. He does not allow anything to go to waste. That's what we do in relationships also. If you give jewelry to your wife, you'll expect her to keep it nicely because that's being faithful. If you give work to somebody who comes to your house and works at your house, you expect that person not to steal anything from your house when they come for work. If you are working at a place, in a place of job, you make sure that you are not going into any kind of impure way of working those things out, whether it's handling money of the company, whether it's handling money of the business house where you're working. You make sure that you are faithful, right? But God says, what is it to be faithful to me? So let's understand that. Baba says that from the moment you take birth, now physical birth is a different birth through our physical parents, but God is talking about spiritual birth. The day we and you understand that we are a soul, we are not this body, we are a spark, that's it. What does a point of light need? Does it need money? Does it need name and fame? Does it need food to eat? No. I am a soul just temporarily in this body. You are a soul temporarily in this body. We don't need so much money. We don't need so much of wealth. We don't need to accumulate so much. I am a soul. I don't need so much space also. I'm just a point of light. You are a point of light. We don't even need so much space, but we make so much of space around us by accumulating wealth, by accumulating things and possessions. We don't even need. And then we say my mind is not at peace. Why? Because the mind is fluctuating and going to different directions and thinking about those things. You have to take care of so many things if you have so many possessions. You have the ego of having so much of possessions. You might say, I don't have. But remembering you have so much is also a form of ego, which is so subtle, which nobody will tell you. That's what God tells us. So God says, you are being faithful to those things, but are you faithful to God? We end up being faithful to people. But God says, what about the time you took birth? You became a soul conscious being. So God gave us the knowledge. God gave us the method of sleeping, eating, drinking, waking up, thinking even throughout the day. That's what we learn at Brahmakumaris. But are we being faithful? Do we do exactly the way God wants us to do? He has given us this property. This body also belongs to God. We say that, right? But are we using the body in impure actions, into lustful actions, into greedy actions, into just taking care of this body? Or are we taking care of the soul that has taken a new birth? Being soul conscious is a new birth. The soul doesn't take a birth because soul is immortal. But taking birth says that you as a soul So in meaning, it says that you as a soul have taken birth. That means you have become awakened by godly knowledge that you are a soul. So let's understand in details what does Baba have to say. Baba says that if your thoughts or time are being used for anything other than godly service, that means you are wasting your time in worldly talks, gossiping about people, spreading ill news about other people, or thinking ill about other people, or trying to prove yourself that you are right or wrong or whatsoever it is you are doing. If you're just entangled into worldly things, into accumulating, amassing wealth, then you're wasting a lot of time. If there are wasteful words spoken, that's what we do throughout the day, right? We speak ill about others, or we speak or complaints about others. Complaining is also ill, actually. They come under the category of wasteful words. If there are wasteful actions being performed with your body, you would not be said to be totally faithful. To whom? To God. So what are the wasteful actions which we can perform? Spending too much of time taking care of ourselves, whether it's dressing up, whether it's thinking about only food items, eating too much, dressing up, focusing only on our wealth, on our clothes, only on the household too much. That also comes under something which is known as wasteful action. So if you're doing any action which is not going to be helpful for your own progress and for the progress of other people, if it's going to bring other people down, then it comes under wasteful actions. So Baba says then that is not being totally faithful. Let it not be that you say, it was just 1 second or 1 penny wasted. I did not do too much. I just wasted this much of time only. Baba says, and so what's the big deal? If you think like that, then it is going to become a habit of yours, and it's going to be very difficult to come out of that habit. So no, totally faithful means one who uses everything in a worthwhile way. So God has given us this time. God has told us that Kali Yuga is coming to an end very quickly. Very soon. You can see the signs already everywhere in the world. God has told us you have to be careful about what you think, what you say, what you do now, because this is your final birth as in a human body, and it's going to be very crucial now. And most of the people will realize it. Some people will be after money and wealth and name and fame, and they'll completely devastate everything in their life. But those who are in God consciousness and soul consciousness will understand and will be very, very attentive about what they are thinking, what they are saying, what they are acting upon. So that's what God wants us to do. So what are the details of the things which He wants us to do? You can come over and understand at Brahmakumaris in details. What are the right karmas, what are the wrong karmas, and what are the neutral karmas? Yes, there's something known as neutral karma also. That's the knowledge which we understand at Brahmakumaris. So I leave you with this beautiful Vardhan. Have a blessed day. Stay safe. Stay home. Om Shanti.